welcome to Cybersecurity and Forensic Virtual Conference 2020. I'm Jaspreet, Director Brilliance in You. Greeting for the day. As you might know, Brilliance in You is an international community which is spread across 10 countries, and we do live webinar, conferences, and seminars related to article, research paper, and magazine. We are an organization who work toward emerging technologies like blockchain, AI, ML, deep learning, cybersecurity, and forensic. We are an open community and we are spreading across country worldwide. You can find a link on the website and the YouTube channel in the description box below. For today's session, which is Pocket Threat and Security, we have our speaker who is joining us from Bengaluru, Karnataka. I would like to welcome Mr. Bashir. Welcome, Mr. Bashir.
Thank you, Jaspreet.
Mr. Bashir has a profound experience in cybersecurity and web application tool. He is serving as a security engineer with Synchronous Corporation. With a vast experience for web tools and programming techniques, he is expertise in his field. Welcome, Mr. Bashir.
Thank you, Jaspreet.
So shall we begin with the question answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. You can start with the presentation as well with the question answer. You can share the presentation.
Okay, fine. Hi, Jaspreet and all. Let's start with presentation on SOC threats and attacks. Before going further, let me introduce again myself. My name is Bashir. Presently, I'm working with Securonics, and I have work experience on SOC, and I have experience on application security and different kind of threat attack resilience kind of stuff. We'll proceed further. Before going, let's start with the first question: what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is nothing but the practice of defending a computer, our servers, our devices from different kind of malicious attacks. It's not just limited to any of the cyber simple attacks. It's also included web application attack. It included physical access attack, and it's included into different sabotage kind of attacks kind of stuff. We'll further look into different kind of attack. Let's go through. Before going, we have to know that we have different security domains. Before going, security and risk assessment it's one of the domain. Asset security is also a domain. Asset security means related to asset maintenance and physical access to the devices, servers, kind of stuff, preventing it from stolen or sabotaging it. And we have different security architecture kind of domain, communication network security domain, identity and access management is one of the great domain which is growing, and security assessment and testing, security operations, software development. Today, mainly we are looking into security operation, its tools, and its threats. Security operation is mainly deal with resilience and defending against the threats which occurs to the organization on daily basis. Before going, we'll look into what is security operations center actually. SOC is a platform which allows us to monitor, analyze the alerts. From those alerts, we can defend our organization by detecting threats and providing response to the threat. Its main goal is to detect, analyze, and resilience the threat by responding using different teams. Like SOC is there, which mainly involves into identifying the threats, and after that further proceeding with a team like incidents responses, like blue team is there, red team is there. That is kind of tough. SOC it also work with other teams like risk management, identity access management. We'll look into further in further slide. Before what types of threats? There are multiple types of threats, but today we'll look mainly into cyber and insider threats, because nowadays as COVID-19 has begun, there are different kind of threats emerging on daily basis, and mainly it has increased for attacker very great scope for attacking in different ways.
Yes,
Like
Abhishek, you have very well described what is cybersecurity, and uh, can you lift these threats, the type of threats?
yeah, we'll go further into.
Hmm.
Uh, Before going, like we mainly today discuss on cyber and insider threat today.
Okay.
Cyber threats are like they target computer systems, infrastructure, servers, databases, either to disrupt the services or to steal the information mainly. Insider
Right.
threats, yeah, insider threat occurs when an user is a malicious user is trying to stole the information for personal use or for some other uses, like selling it to third party users or for some other stuff. Or it might occur because a user is not aware or lack of knowledge on security policies and on information data leakage policies might occur. We'll further proceed in looking into deep in each of the kind of threats in cyber threats and insider threats. In next slide. Normally, common threats in cyber threats are like a zero-day vulnerability. Zero-day vulnerability is unknown to the developer. It's kind of vulnerability which exists in applications mainly, or it also exists in software of a different kind of hardware, like a firewall. There was a recent attack on SOAP's firewall, which was having SQL injection attack. It was a zero-day vulnerability. Recently, it was one of the great threat in COVID-19 time, which allowing the hacker to bypass the firewall and take over the admin access. Like zero-day vulnerability occurs when a developer is unknown of what kind of vulnerability exists. We came to know by after researching it and attack, either you researching it or attack the organization. Then only we can come to know. Next, it's kind of vulnerability that developers and vendors and end user aren't aware until they are publicly exposed. Normal. Malware. As malware indicates its name, malware is malicious software, and it can be a file also. It's really harmful to any of the computer. Uh, it might corrupt the data, or it might be used to steal the information. Yeah. Next type is like sabotage. Sabotage is intentionally malformed software. Its aim is to weaken the quality, effort, and organization through subversion. I will give an example in sabotage. Like a user intentionally introduces a vulnerability into an application just to make it publicly exposed or to harm a organization, or to make a company to get into the loss, or a manufacturer of hardware. For example, if there is a hardware firewall hardware is there, he introduces the manufacturer introduces a vulnerability into that intentionally, so that they can extract sensitive data after installing it into the organization for their malicious intention. Yeah. These
Right.
are sabotage. These are three attacks.
Yeah. Thank you. You have
Phishing.
very well explained them. Okay. There are few more that you want to discuss.
There are actually four more. Phishing. Phishing is. I will take into fast actually. Phishing is the kind of social engineering attack where a user has been tricked to leak the sensitive information by sending filling the form or some other kind of stuff, or it might be used to download. It might be used to might trick the user to download some of the malicious file kind of stuff. Phishing attack. Malware beacon. Malware beaconing is like a zero-day vulnerability which we have already discussed. It occurred malware beaconing occur after zero-day vulnerability has been introduced. and attack has been made. What happened is, like in server or user device, automated file downloaded is a automatic file got downloaded after it tried to send information to external server. There occurs malware beaconing. Lateral movement. Lateral movement is also after attacking. First phase of attack has been occurred. After that, malware lateral movement has will occur. Lateral movement in what happened is, like a user will try to get information of other devices by using a computer. For example, my computer do exist, which got attacked from one of the external attacker. After that, he tried to get into a different server, different devices to take the information out of that devices. Yeah. Uh, golden ticket attack is there. It by obtaining the password of hash most powerful services in Active Directory, attacker can able to compromise every account in the Active Directory and have connected to other devices, able to connect other devices. Malicious will mainly discuss on insider threats.
Yes,
Uh,
you have very well discussed the cyber threats which are common with a good example. Can you list some types of insider threats that are very common?
Cyber threats. Most common is like data leakage is there. Uh,
Okay,
uh, yeah, phishing is most common attack, and download of malware is very common attack, and sabotage is rare, very rare, because it happens very rarely. Nobody has able to access that much of uh, uh, to like code side tools to organization, because we have been normally don't expose that much to the access because of access and identity and access management policy. Most common is phishing, lateral movement kind of attacks. We'll see some of the time, but most one is phishing and lateral movement. We'll see normally. And some other attacks are there on web application like SQL injection tries. They are script kiddies. They try on it. Remote code injection attacks and other normal web application attacks are being seen on daily basis for big organizations.
right.
We'll go to see for insider threats.
Yes,
What there are two type of insider threats. Insider threat occur because of users inside the organization. For example, malicious user. They are also called as turncloak. They have intentionally some intention to either to steal the information from company, or either to sell it or for their sole use for financial gains or personal incentives kind of stuff. Or it might occur because a user has been bad performance, he want to leave, he just want to take the some of the information so that he can use it for further. That is kind of data leakage normally. And either or it is a careless insider. Careless insider is like he's another type of user who unknowingly sends out some of the information to outside just by using his personal mail or some cap of taking photo of that file or some other kind of stuff by printing. It might be any way. Uh, these are cyber threats, they're kind of attack. Data exfiltration. Data exfiltration refers to the sending out data. It is one of the biggest threats to the organization nowadays. Like everyone has access to all the Outlook and all different kind of mail vendors. Different tools has been came, like Dropbox is there, or some kind of other drives are there, which allows us to store the information in cloud, which expose organizations data leakage policy. If we don't configure data leakage policy in our organization correctly, it costs us a lot actually, because information might be from our organization, contain financial information, or it contain information about our devices, or it contain information about customer. customers are more concerned if once data got leaked about customer, and no customer will trust us. It become a huge problem for companies' growth.
Right. So you
Coming to
you
next,
are saying that with COVID-19 pandemic, this threat is very much in common these days.
yeah. As organizations, some organizations are allowing a user to use his personal laptop or
Okay.
personal devices, uh, which uh, which might contain a malicious code which already is there. It do not contain exact antiviruses, exact EDRs, other security tools. It is exposing more from data leakage, and they have not configured data loss prevention tools to avoid the data. So user has access to the organization files, and they don't have any protection in some of the organization, which
Right.
cause more exposure. And there are like work from home is happening, and VPNs are there. Most of the hackers are trying to exploit VPNs so that they can gain access to the organization. It is also happening too much nowadays. And also users, hackers are trying the old malwares with different version by upgrading it, by improving it these days. It become
Right.
a huge problem.
Can you discuss TCP UDP protocol in socket programming?
Uh, TCP is transmission control protocol. UDP is user datagram protocol. TCP is connection oriented. Like whenever a connection has before establishing connection, they have to complete a process. For example, is like if a client want to access a server, it has to establish a connection. First, they will send a flag. For that, they will receive SYN flag, and as it's kind of three-way: SYN, ACK, SYN. And after that connection has been established, it is connection oriented. It provides reliability data transfer to the client, and if error can be maintained, controlled in that, and if any of the packet has been lost, it can be resent again. This is TCP. UDP is like a one-way protocol, connectionless protocol, in which user can send the received data without any reliability. It is mainly used, UDP is mainly used in fast transmission of data where less reliability is required, whereas TCP is in reliable data transfer, especially in banking kind of application which provide more reliability. Yeah.
Thank you. Can you discuss what are the used tools in SOC?
Yeah. Different tools are there. Like we use the firewall, web application server, IDS, endpoint intrusion detection system, endpoint security, data loss prevention system, database management, and SIM. Let me start directly from intrusion detection system.
Sure.
Yeah. Uh, Intrusion detection and prevention system analyzes the network traffic for match of a known signature of cyber attack. If any of the signature matches in the traffic, it will generate an alert. It also analyzes packet level. It also stop a packet from being delivered to the uh, user if any of the pattern or any of the signature has been matched. There are different kind of intrusion and prevention system. It's like post intrusion detection system and network intrusion detection system. Network intrusion detection system we mainly use at a firewall level, and post intrusion detection system we use at post like servers or end users devices level. Mainly we'll go to now database activity monitoring. I will just cover it in fast. We don't have much time. Yeah, database activity monitoring is like it monitors for transaction of database kind of stuff. Like for example, what happened is like web applications are normally connected to database. web application, whenever a query has been made by the user, it will go to web application. After that, it will perform SQL transaction on database server, whatever database it might be, Oracle or MySQL or some other. It will perform transaction. Normally, database activity monitoring is a tool. It got configured after configuring it with database. It check for unusual, unauthorized activity, and we have configured normal policies on that. It will detect for that. For example, I will give you an example. Whenever a user performs uh, query on that, like he has logged in into the application, he will send out a password and a username onto it, web application, and it will check against the database which stores the information about login credentials. Uh, Normally, it will be of less than 1 KB. 1 KB is very high actually for that. If any of the transaction has been made which is more than 10 KB, it means that a lot of credential has been passed, which indicates it is a suspicious activity. That kind of activity will normally monitor on database activity.
Right. Can you explain what is endpoint production platform in this case?
Like Yeah, uh, I will your question is there. I will answer it lately because we have different tools, and we can relate it to other tools also. Actually.
Right.
Okay. Endpoint protection platform. Normally, endpoint protection system, it contains antivirus software, host-based intrusion detection system, firewalls. Mm, yeah, it mainly protects our network component from unauthorized activity. It also detects for different kind of malicious software, different kind of malicious activity, also for authentication of network device. Endpoint protection is deployed on endpoint devices by using client and server model. It normally prevents file-based attack, malware attack, provides investigation and remediation capacity also. If we have already a tool called EDR, endpoint detection and response with endpoint endpoint security.
Right.
Uh, Yeah, they focus mainly by authenticating with valid credentials, user login kind of stuff. They also detect for scanning, and it also maintain compliance kind of policy if we configure it. For example, I will give an example like if any of the user all trying to send out uh, data info, in any of the file, or any of the he's trying to install any of the unauthorized software uh, by using admin credential, which is not allowed on corporate level for a normal user, then it will be like violation of policy. That time, endpoint protection we can configure it to alert and also to prevent such kind of stuff on end user devices.
Right.
Normally, they will comply with corporate policy. We'll move further. Yeah, there comes data loss prevention tool. It is also one of the component of endpoint protection suite only, but it is one of the main tools which provide protection against insider threat. Uh, yeah, it ensures that end user do not send out information to outside the corporate network. Mainly protect against the insider threat. These are like monitors, controls the end user activity like data files which are being sent to email gateway, or instant messages or cloud or via USB. If someone is trying to send, it will stop these kind of malicious activity by protecting leakage of information. We can apply different rules like for example, we can comply it with user not to send information via USB, via email chat or instant messages or cloud, by stopping the user to upload it to any of the file to cloud storage, that kind of stuff. This is one of the main important tools in organization. Now next comes security information and event management. Uh, what happened is like you are asking a question right before that. How will you protect our organization using endpoint protection, like endpoint protection? Yeah, but this DLP, endpoint protection, database monitoring, IPS, IDS, web proxy server, firewalls, all we will configure into SIM for alerts. Whenever any of the transaction or any of the query has been made in any of the devices, it will generate an alert. All these alerts has been configured into SIM tool. It is now come to the definition of SIM. SIM solution works by centrally collecting logs and event data that is generated by host systems and security devices through organization's infrastructure. This SIM tool collects the information from all the devices and performs rule correlation. And by using correlation, we come to know that this what are the malicious activity, what are the normal activity, what are the compliance has been violated, kind of stuff in the organization. Why SIM is important is like SIM provides a single centralized monitoring of our organization. It provides detection of threats. It provides cyber threat intelligence on single platform. It allows us to connect with different kind of devices in our organization. We have transparency of our network threads using. Before going into further about SIM, let's we see few acronyms. Uh, yeah, log management. Log management is like collection and storage of logs and messages in our tool. Security information management is important. It's kind of long-term storage as well as analysis and reporting of log data. Whatever logs has been generated, we required it to store for long-term for compliance storage and different organization policy requirement as well. For compliance also, for audit also, for other stuff also. Security event management, event manager, sorry. It provide a real-time monitoring and correlation of events and notification. Now comes SIM. SIM information and event management. It is a tool which combines both SIM information management and SIM event management. That means it provides long-term storage of logs and reporting, also real-time monitoring of events, which is generated by different network and hardware devices. Typical component SIM components are like a smart connector. It's taken for reference from ARC site. I have taken it.
Okay.
For example, what I have defined is I will define it again. For example, as I told you, as a user has downloaded, I will give a real-time example. As user has downloaded one of the malicious file, and he tries to run it on the device which has endpoint protection. Okay. From endpoint protection, what happened is like endpoint protection blocks it because of admin access credentials, and it will stop user from being run. Now, user downloaded it. He got connection from firewall. Logs are generated in web application proxy. Logs are generated on endpoint protection also. We can correlate all these logs, and we come to know that user has downloaded one of the file from this some website, and file is malicious. This is one of the example. And we can see all these logs in SIM tool instead of going to each devices. That is the main advantage of SIM. Yeah. Now, like components of typical SIM, like connector which collects the log from endpoint devices. Logger it mainly used for storing the logs for longer time. Correlation engine which stores the logs which performs the rule correlation also, like we can configure normal rules like any of the mail or some of the file has been downloaded from malicious IP. It also performs threat intelligence kind of stuff. Yeah, like blacklisted IP has connection has made in our organization. It will generate an alert for those.
Right.
Same, yeah. Even enterprise security manager. Uh, Enterprise security manager is one of the main stuff which stores the rules, and correlation engine is one of the component of ESM which perform analytics. Both are correlated. Both are normally assembled into one of ESM only. Next one is console. Console is the one of console which provides us monitoring configuration of tool. We can real-time monitor also, we can configure also and perform such stuff. Next one is linear architecture. I will show you example. One I this from here you can see it from right to left. You have IDS firewall and log files are there, which not using we can collect logs from these devices using smart connector. Raw data has been collected from these devices. They are not into standard form. They are into like if firewall ASA is there, it will be like in Cisco format. But we can't understand it. Using smart collector, we can collect the logs and perform normalization on the logs in common format from different devices into common format. After that, we can send it to ESM server where rules correlation and we can perform analytics using the correlation engine. After that, it can be sent to ArcSight console command center. These are like monitoring kind of stuff which brought monitoring based console to
Right.
perform further analysis. What happened is like a simple operation process is like a real-time log and data collection. First step is first step it performs is real-time log and data collection. And after collection of data, these are in raw format, which is not understandable by SIM tool. It is not into common format, so that it normalizes and aggregates the log. Like for example, for same event, 10 logs are collected within 5 seconds. Then all are aggregated and marked as count 5 using one log. They are analyzed and correlated for threat intelligence to discover the threat kind of stuff. And after that, we can perform real-time notification and alerting, reporting and dashboard. We can perform for monitoring. For audit, we can perform security reporting also. And security workflow is like it's case management, which provide which allows us to generate case or ticket to follow up any of the issue. It also maps us to helps us to map with compliance like PCI DSS, HIPAA, and other steps.
Right. Can you
Yeah,
discuss what are
that's
the
from my side.
yes, very well.
Sorry.
I will say a very good presentation. Personally, I also feel very interactive and with all the example you have explained every detail very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
One last question from my side for the audience that what are the precautions that one can take while working over the web so that they can protect their
In
security?
COVID time, right?
Yeah, in this time
Yeah,
as most of the population is working from home and so there are a lot many threats these days as
yeah.
compared to earlier. So how can we prevent them?
We can normally first they have to stick with the company organization policy. Don't try to go through a different via browsing different kind of websites which are not necessary. And be careful with the phishing mails because you have to check with the domains actually. If any of the mail has been received from different domain which is other than your organization, you mainly check whether that the domain has been any contract with your they have any of the business partner. If they are not business partner and there is no such policy that this mail has to be received by us, then don't try to open it. Just try to complain on to the security team so that they can check. One thing. Another thing is like don't just don't try to maintain, like don't try to uh, go with some of the links which you do see ads on your browser or some of the websites which they show, because they contain big threats to our organization, because there might be a policy in your organization which not to go via go behind adware, but these adverts contain leakage of information about your location, some of your username. It might contain other stuff. Mainly, just first and most important thing is you have to upgrade your softwares or some of the patches which Windows and Microsoft they do release on monthly basis, because they contain vulnerabilities which can be exploited from any of the hacker, because they are very easy and everyone knows about it once they have been released. If any of you have been not updated or not patched with the updates, then they are likely at big risk because of them.
Very important
That
tips you have shared, and I hope indeed it will be very helpful for all the viewers watching this session. Thank you so much. And it was a
thank you,
pleasure having you here with us, and thank you once again.
thank you for uh, allowing me to this opportunity.
Pleasure is
Thank
all
you.
ours.
Bye.
To all my viewers, I would like to say keep supporting Brilliance in You, and we are a community, and we need your support to grow and build up further. And click on the bell icon and please subscribe our YouTube channel. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you. Bye. See you.
Bye.